Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show. We'll cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment. We'll give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a hilarious show for y'all. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video. It's up to the channel. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. My handle is CTABANZ. So let's get into today's topic, man. So, Stephen A. Smith. He's been making all kind of headlines this week. Just yesterday, he made some headlines because he went on 7 p.m. in Brooklyn, Carmelo Anthony's podcast, and they asked him to weigh in on LeBron James, and he kept it a bean, right? Prior to that, he went on another podcast, the Pivot podcast with Ryan Clark and these guys, and he did the same thing. But during his visit on the Pivot podcast, they broached the subject of politics because you guys know Stephen A. Smith has made his entree into the world of politics, and he's decided that this is something that he wants to discuss. And it's fine. You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with exploring some of your interests. But I think the way that he's going about it is he's alienating a lot of people in the process. And I don't know why. I feel like he's doing a lot of pandering. And I don't understand why anybody that has a lot of money feels the need to pander to people. I don't know why. If you had enough money, you wouldn't feel emboldened to just say what you believe in, to hell with it. But that doesn't seem to be the case. And in the process of doing this, he's found himself entangled in a mess with a few people. Bakari Sellers, D.L. Hughley, Willie D, and some other people I can't remember. But one of the people that has been kind of calling him out for some of the things that he's been saying is Roland Martin. And Roland Martin had been on Stephen A. Smith's show 2 years ago, and they had discussed politics. And he told Stephen A. Smith, look, man, I get that you want to get into this world of politics and discuss these things, these serious issues. But he essentially said, I don't think you have 100% grasp on these issues. 2 years later, and it seems to be the same case. So yesterday I was just minding my business, and I saw a video from his channel that popped up on my page that said, get your facts straight. Roland Martin ripped Stephen A. Smith over his Jasmine Crockett take, and it's about a 35-minute segment. So I click on the video to see what Roland Martin was saying, and I thought he was going to say some of what he had already said before. But instead, in this sound, Roland began to speak to the fact that he believes Stephen A. Smith doesn't have a grasp on some of the basic concepts of governance, how things get done, the role that various people play within the government. And he believes that's the reason why he is saying some of the things that he's saying, because he seems to be totally misinformed about the role of these various figures in government. And that's one of the reasons he's saying the things about Jasmine Crockett. So what we want to do is I want to play what Roland Martin had to say. It's a very long sound, but we cut it down to the most important part. So take a listen to what he had to say here, and I want to come back and react to his comments. Take a listen to Roland Martin here.
Let me ask you a question, Stephen A. Are you a voter in the 30th Congressional District of Texas? I know who he is, Stephen A. Yep. My homestead in Texas resides in the 30th Congressional District. I am a voter. So when you go on the Pivot, and your Sirius XM radio show, and CNN, and News Nation, and here's the deal. I don't care. Go on all those shows. When you go on all those shows, and you say what the voters of the 30th Congressional District did not send Jasmine Crockett to do, how do you know that when you aren't one of them? I am. And the fact of the matter is, Stephen A., the voters of the 30th Congressional District did send Jasmine Crockett to fight MAGA. We did send Jasmine Crockett to fight for the voters. We did send Jasmine Crockett to fight the agenda. Now it's very interesting when you go on television and you sit here and proclaim what the voters of District 30. Okay, Stephen A. This is a fact. This is the results from the November 2024 election. Jasmine Crockett received 84.9% of the votes cast, Stephen A. Where I come from, Stephen A., that's called a resounding victory. When more than 200,000 votes are cast, more than 239,000 votes are cast, and Crockett got 197,650 of them. So it's pretty arrogant of you to say what the voters of the 30th Congressional District did not send her to do when she's doing exactly what the voters sent her to do. So then, Stephen A., you go on and you start talking about how, how she has to work with Trump. Not really, Stephen A. You love talking about the Constitution. Have you actually read it? I would ask this question of you, Stephen A. Do you know how money is appropriated in the United States? It doesn't start at that building that's 2 blocks from me right now, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Stephen A., let me help you out. The president presents a budget. Congress is under no obligation, Stephen A., to respond to the president's budget. Do you know why? Go to my iPad, Anthony. It is called the Appropriations Clause, Stephen A. In the United States Constitution, Stephen A., it states that anything dealing with money must originate in the U.S. House of Representatives. The U.S. House, not the White House. So when you go on and on and on talking about how she's got to work with this man, no, she doesn't, Stephen A., because he doesn't appropriate money. The House does. And when a bill passes the House, Stephen A., it goes to the Senate. And then the Senate could very well pass their own bill. And if they do, the Senate and the House go into conference. They have to reconcile the bills. Once they reconcile the bills, the House revotes, the Senate revotes, and if passed, it goes to the president for a signature. Now, Stephen A., you said that she needs to work with him. You don't know jack about how things work in the House, Stephen A. You said, oh my God, she got to work with him. Okay, that's interesting. Here's an actual letter. See, what I did, Stephen A., was instead of running my mouth, I actually called. I did research.
Excellent. So you heard what he had to say. Look, guys, Roland is essentially saying, you don't know enough yet to be having such strong opinions. You're saying that Jasmine Crockett, what she's doing is counterproductive. And he's basically entailing what her job description is. And in fact, she's doing what she's supposed to be doing. He said that she's representing the interests of her district, of whom she's a member of. I think the number he quoted was 100,000, the number 750,000 voters. And Roland Martin is also, I believe, one of the voters out there in Texas. He spoke about that aspect of things. He said the fact that he talks about how she's loud and all that. He said, You're loud and demonstrative on ESPN First Take. So how could you criticize her of doing the same? Obviously, what Stephen A. Smith does on ESPN First Take is totally different from what Jasmine Crockett is doing. But in terms of their jobs are, but in terms of the delivery, he's saying that as well. He did double down on the Pivot podcast where he said that he was basically saying that she sounds ratchet, right? And to me, beyond the fact that he may not seem to understand the scope of her job and what she's meant to be doing, I just find it clownish for Stephen A. Smith to be taking such a hardline position against Jasmine Crockett. And I don't support that kind of rhetoric, by the way, but I don't support it across the board. But I find it to be ridiculous for him to be taking such a hard line against her when this is the political. We've done shows about this. I'll give you an example. Just yesterday, people were reacting to the No Kings rally across the United States. I quoted a number. I kept on saying 100. I meant 100,000 people. I believe I was out there in New York. But the total figure is 7 million people that went out to protest across the United States, which makes it the largest protest in the history of the United States. The history of it. Stephen A. Smith is up in arms, hollering and screaming. Apparently, the president posted an AI video of himself flying around in a jet over these cities and these rallies. And do you know what the jet was dropping? Poop. On the people that were out there protesting. Poop. The president of the United States posted a AI video of himself in a fighter jet dropping poop on top of protesters. But Stephen A. Smith is up in arms about Jasmine Crockett's rhetoric. Stephen A. Smith is not serious. And if he is truly the independent that he says he is, why isn't he doing shows about that? And about the things that Laura Loomer says and other voices in government? Because he's grifting. He's the only independent that always attacks the left. How are you an independent when that's all you do? You cannot take Stephen A. Smith seriously when it comes to... He is grifting. Why are you so transfixed on Jasmine? I just gave you... Okay, let's say you didn't hear about it. Where are the videos? Can we go to your channel and point this out? Where are the videos? Go do a video on this AI video of the president dropping poop on top of protesters. You're complaining about the way she conducts herself, yet this is what the president is doing. It's I've said this, but we all know this already. That's why a lot of people are looking at Stephen A. Smith with a side eye. It's like, you're not a serious person. You're not serious. And in his mind, the reason he believes he's right on this accord is because she's a state representative, but he's the president. So therefore, he can do it, but she can't. Just imagine. That is his mindset in all of it. He believes that she's supposed to be beholden and subservient to the president. If she did that, Stephen A. Smith, how would she get voted in? Are we living in Narnia right now? Is this Peter Pan land? Or how else does it work? She's representing her constituents. Her constituents that support her as a Democrat, they don't support the president. So therefore, the policies, the tone, the things she says is meant to be an opposite. But do we live on planet goofy ball? Where are we? What earth are we on right now versus the earth he's on? This guy's like on planet Krypton right now. It's like I'm befuddled by this. And he's so serious about, oh, you don't understand. And then the part that gets me in all of this is Stephen A. Smith decided he wanted to jump into politics. When people call him out, he's upset. He's just meant to go out there and say whatever he says unchallenged and just say what he says. He can challenge what other people say. But when people start challenging his point of view on things, all of a sudden they're attacking me. The other day he said they're trying to cancel him. Can you imagine? They're trying to cancel him because they disagree with him. So if everybody disagreed with you, would you be saying they're trying to cancel you? But forget about that. Your audience members that watch your show, they agree with you. So why are you complaining? Why are you complaining? It's politics. You must know this. If you're complaining about people trying to cancel you now, can you imagine running in a primary? What are you going to go? I can't believe people are saying these harsh things about me. What? So, bro, man, look, man, I don't know what to say. I do not know what to say from this point forward. You guys let me know what you think about this in the comments section. We catch you on the next show and I'm out.